We back. Hold on, let's get this stuff going. We back. And it's just me. Yes. But we still back. We back. Let's whisper it a little bit. We back. I don't need it. Oh, they hating. Yeah, we back. They still hating though. Watch this. We recording? I think we are. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. We back. Welcome to episode 77 of MTMJ Fit Podcast. I'm your motivator and your personal trainer. So last week, right, we recorded episode 76, right? Me and my wife went through a whole hoopla. We talked about this and that, and then I get to like the editing process, man. And literally, because I forgot to delete last episode, it recorded only like 30 minutes of my verbiage and the whole episode of hers. So that won't happen again, I promise you that. So, but I gave you the video that I felt was important to the podcast. We got a good episode, man. Yeah, we definitely got a good episode for you guys. Make sure you rate and review the podcast. All right, make sure you rate and review the podcast because that helps us get advertisement, man. And the advertisers like to see that you have a good following. It's okay to give them numbers, but they also want to make sure that people are engaged. And a part of showing your engagement is by rating and reviewing the podcast. So the algorithms can recognize that this podcast exists. So keep doing that for me. Really appreciate you. Get it. So look, over the last few weeks, right, I've been like listening to my uncle. I went to a doctor's appointment not too long ago, right? And one of the things I took from the doctor's appointment was pre-diabetic. And I think diabetes runs in my mother's side of the family or whatnot. And it started getting me to thinking like what I want my quality of life to be like as far as me going into like the second part of my life. Because I look at it like this, I'm 35, right? Before I know it, I'll be 36. And before I know it, I'll be 50, right? And I listen to my uncle all the time. Like we conversate a lot. Out of my family members, besides my sister, my uncle is one of the primary people that I talk to a lot, right? It should be better than that, but it's necessarily to at least communicate with some of your family, at least the ones that are willing to communicate with you. And what I notice talking to him all the time is he's always in pain. He's complaining about his back. He's saying he can barely move. And I don't want to be like that, right? Do I want to be, see what I consider myself is, I'm a big guy and I know this, but when I look in the mirror, the fact that I don't see my abs no more, it kind of bothers me. I mean, I can say that, I can admit that. But one of the things that really bothered me was when they took blood work, they found, and I'm being transparent, I'm always trying to be transparent on this podcast, but pre-diabetic. And they said this the last time, I did blood work a couple years back or whatnot. So I know it's one of those situations. It's probably not because of what I eat and how I eat. It's because of family traits that do exist. I spent the last couple of years and you hear the pros and cons to whether that exists and you can control that and all this other stuff. That is true. You can control it. You can control it all in your diet. Like it's all about your lifestyle. And while my lifestyle isn't the worst, it's not the best at all. I work a job where I'm primarily around food, and I make the best choices I possibly can when I'm at work. But of course, we know we can do better. I mean, I work out consistently. I ride my bicycle. I'm always training in the gym. But I also am one of them guys that internally I overthink certain situations. So I'm always trying to find ways to get better, right? In the process of trying to find that decision, I look back at about 5 years ago where I was able to get down to a number that was relatively perfect for me, right? I was at 249, right? I haven't weighed myself because I was a little disappointed by the number I saw the last time I got on the scale. I think it was like 305, 310, and that's about the same amount that I weighed about 5 years ago. But see, I also understand there's your muscle mass, your body mass, and then, there's fat, right? So when you apply all those things, I understand my situation. I'm for a person my size, I'm in pretty good shape. I can run a mile without dying, like without being out of complete breath. I can still run, I can still do that. But see, the one thing I'm noticing now is I be tired a lot. And I know it's because of my work schedule, but at the same token, I don't want to, I want my quality of life not to be where I'm complaining about aches and pains, even though I work out a lot, or you're always going to the doctor and they think they know better than you. Right? They follow the science. Me, I listen to my body and I know when things ain't going well and I know when things are, right? So in that process, I started going back through some of the pictures, some of the notes that I took a few years ago, some of the research I did on this particular diet, and I decided to really just jump back in, right? Because like I said, quality of life is important. I mean, for me it is. Like I don't want to understate that. Like I want to be present. I don't want to be complaining. I want to be able to do some of the things that my kids and my family deserve from me. And I just want to be able to be present more and not always feel like just because I work these certain hours, that's a excuse for me to sleep my day away. You know what I mean? Because like I was explaining to somebody earlier, right? I'm like, man, if you don't get in touch with me before 10 a.m., chances are I'm sleeping at least until I gotta go to work, right? And back when I went on this diet, right, I can get 5 hours of sleep and it felt like forever, right? So it's just about not really the diet, but I'm applying it. I'm making some adjustments to my lifestyle, and I'm changing some of those. The diet that I decided to do again, and I've done it before, is the keto diet, right? There's pros and cons to the keto diet, right? I don't listen to nobody. This is me, right? I make these decisions for me. I'm not pushing this on nobody else. I mean, you make your decision. You decide what you're gonna do. I'm also, along with this process, I'm going to do a daily blog that I'm going to make available on my website at mtmjpodcast.com. You can follow along with that, see what I'm doing, see the habits, the things that I'm applying to this keto diet. Because when I first did the keto diet, the information that was available wasn't as advanced as it is now, 5 years later. Now it's the naysayers say it's a fad diet, and it is true. I'm going to be honest with you. The weight that I lost in that diet, once I got back into carbs and sugars and all that, it picked right back up quick. And because I'm a snack eater, specifically, sometimes I overdo it, and I can admit to that, But here's what a keto diet is. It's a ketogenic is a term for a low carb diet, like Agnes. Hold on, where I'm at. Oh, okay. Like Atkins diet, the idea is for you to get more calories from protein, fats, and less from carbohydrates. You cut back most on carbs that are easy to digest, like sugar, soda, pastries, and white bread. And so basically, man, you replace those carbs with fats, right? Tons of fats, endless fats. So The core items that you should be eating is your protein, your fats, and then your protein, your veggies, and your fat. Certain veggies, of course. You can't have all sorts of veggies. So let me give you a little bit more detail to it and why I think it's an amazing diet if you're trying to lose some weight fast, if you're trying to get your blood sugar level into a normal state to satisfy the medical science at the doctor and not personal science. It's a perfect diet just to get your blood sugar levels down. But let me give you some details, man. I want you to I want to be accurate about this. So the keto diet is a low carb, high fat diet. It lowers blood sugar and insulin levels and shifts the body metabolism away from carbs and towards fats and ketones, right? But so the one that I'm gonna do is a high protein ketogenic diet, right? So that means my ratio should be around 60% fats, 35% protein, and 5% carbs. I'm going to tell you this now. I'm going to do more than 60% fats. I know I'm going to do something like 45 to 50% protein because of the way I lift. And I'm going to do that 5% carbs. You feel me? Because carbohydrates, they come in all forms. You have your bad ones and you have your good ones. You got your rice, your oats. There's carbs in peanuts. If you overdo it, you can extend past the 5%. So there's also moderation we got to remember. And that's in anything. Any diet you choose towards the goals that you try to set for yourself, it comes in moderation, man. So, however, the only standard is high protein keto diets have been studied extensively. Cycle or targeted ketogenic diets are more advanced methods and primarily used for bodybuilders and athletes like me. I don't consider myself a bodybuilder, and I don't consider myself an athlete, but I consider myself a fitness enthusiast, a personal trainer. I do my workouts are catered to more bodybuilder style workouts. So the high protein diet is perfect for me. There are several versions of the keto diet. There's a standard version, which was when I first did the keto diet, I did the standard version. I followed the blueprint step by step. I used everything they did. I researched meals. I researched things that I should eat. I researched a lot, man, but I'm going to make sure while you listening, I'm doing my best to inform you as much as I possibly can. Ketos is a metabolic state in which your body uses fat for fuel instead of carbs. So you get all your energy. The energy that you would normally get from carbohydrates, you now will get them from fats. It occurs when you significantly reduce your consumption of carbohydrates, limiting your body's supply on glucose sugar, which is the main source of energy for the cell. Following a ketogenic diet is the most effective way to enter ketosis, right? Generally, this involves limited carb consumption to around 20 to 50 grams per day, filling it up on fats such as meat, fish, eggs, nuts, and healthy oils. So that means like your olive oil, I can't remember the other oils, but mostly your olive oil. It is also important to moderate your protein consumption. This is because the protein can be converted to glucose if you consume high amounts. So what I did and what I learned, especially when I was becoming a personal trainer, is the best way to measure your consumption of meat is your hand size, right? This is because protein, which may slow your transition into ketosis. The main thing, and that's when you really start burning the body fat, is to get deep into ketosis. That involves practicing intermittent fasting, and that could also help you enter ketosis faster. There are many different forms of intermittent fasting, but the most common method involves limiting food take to around 8 hours per day and fasting for the remaining 16 hours, right? So my last meal was at 2 o'clock, right? The time now while we're recording this podcast is now 11:48. My plan is to try to get at least 15 to 16 hours of fasting a day, right? Blood, urine, and breath tests are available, which I have. I have keto strips, right? The process of doing that is while you're urinating, you pee on the strip, just like your urine tests or whatnot, and then you wait a few seconds or a minute or so, and you measure the color of the strip on the container of the ketone strips, and that determines you how far along in ketosis you are, right? But that also determines your level of body fat that you're burning, right? Ketosis by man, blah blah. All right. Certain symptoms may also indicate that you're in ketosis, including increased thirst, dry mouth, frequent urination, and decreased hunger or appetite. That is true. Another thing I noticed while I was doing this diet was when my body started rejecting certain meals or certain items in meals. And that also was a sign, because the body rejection meaning nauseousness and all that other good stuff. So, yeah. So, ketosis is a metabolic state which your body uses fat for fuel instead of carbs. Modifying your diet and practicing intermittent fasting can help you enter ketosis faster. Certain tests and symptoms can also help determine whether you're entered ketosis. It's a good diet, y'all, man. I'm not pushing, I'm not pushing this on you. This is me. Let's see. What else we got here? What is more, the diet is so filling that you can lose weight without counting calories and tracking food intake. That is a myth. Like I said, measuring your food, because if you overdo it, it's going to take even longer to get into ketosis, and that's the objective of the diet. A review of 13 studies found that following a very low carb ketogenic diet was slightly more effective for long-term weight loss than low-fat diet. People who followed this keto diet lost an average of 2 pounds more than the group, and that is true. Because when I last did the diet, I was losing up to 2 to 3 pounds a day, right? There were periods within a week where I didn't lose any weight, but still, I also had tons of energy, and at the time I was working out twice a day. I have even more time now than I had the last time I did the keto diet, so there's no excuse on my part. I even brought my wife along, so when she gets back, I definitely will be letting her know. Or if she listens to the podcast at some point on her ride, yeah. Another study in 34-year-old adults found that those who followed the ketogenic diet for 8 weeks lost nearly 5 times as much as total body fat as those who followed low-fat diet. That is true. I did the diet for 8 weeks. I lost 55 pounds. The increased ketones, low blood sugar levels, and improved insulin sensitivity may also play a key role. Feel me? So, they talk about the ketogenic diet for diabetes and pre-diabetic. You see what I'm saying? And like I was explaining to you, YouTube and the listeners, man, I just don't want to be in a situation where I'm a pre-diabetic or I'm a diabetic. I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to be reliant on taking meds to be able to survive. Remember I told you, you either control what you can control now or have somebody else control it. And then it's going to cost you way more for them to control it versus you controlling it. So here's, let me give you some healthy benefits of keto. The ketogenic diet actually originated as a tool for treating neurologic diseases such as epilepsy. Studies have now shown that the diet can have benefits for a wide variety of different health conditions: heart disease, cancer, uh, epilepsy, Parkinson's, brain injuries. However, keep in mind that research into many of these areas are far from being conclusive because uh, science is ever evolving. So there's always more information available. Science is always growing. So here's the good stuff, y'all. Y'all ready? Foods to avoid. Sugary foods, soda, fruit juice, smoothies, cakes, ice cream, candy. You know that. Grains and starches. So no wheat bread, no rice, no pasta, no cereal, etc. Like for me, I'm gonna add like every 3 days. I'm gonna add some rice to my diet. Just because, like I said, what I also noticed the last time I did keto was my strength. I lost a lot of strength. Everything was that because I was doing 2 a days. I was doing cardio in the morning, weight training in the evening, and because I was going so hard, because I couldn't help myself, because I had so much energy, I just lost a lot of strength, man. But like I said, I really enjoyed it. Here's the thing: fruits, all fruits except small portions of berries and strawberries. See, beans. So no peas, kidney beans, no chickpeas, rooted vegetables, no potatoes, sweet potatoes, carrots, low-fat dairy product, no low-fat mayonnaise, salad dressing, no condiments. Some condiments or sauce, no barbecue sauce, no honey mustard, no teriyaki, no ketchup, unhealthy fats, processed vegetable oil, and mayonnaise, etc. Alcohol, beer, wine, liquor, no mixed drinks, sugar-free diet foods, sugar-free candies, syrups, pudding, sweeteners, and desserts.